When I tell you, that's how good tonight's episode has been here on Shop Bob Live, because we are just bringing extraordinary guests on here that have amazing stories. That's the beauty about businesses, is really finding out the why behind what they're building, how they're building it, and of course, how can we support as consumers. We had some amazing businesses so far, but there's one thing that I always find near and dear, is how to we legalize and make sure that all our I's are dotted, all our T's are crossed. And I don't think sometimes we really take in mind what it takes to run a business. It is important to find help in areas that we are not knowledgeable in, that we may need help in, and a lot of times that comes in legal services. So I am really excited about bringing in our guest for this evening, because not only did this next guest take her profession and create a business of her own, she actually allowed that business to expand and even created a retail store that really brings her branding to the forefront. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our last guest. I see you, Brooks Notary. Where are you at? So within Shop Bob, we are creating a network of businesses to help them grow, to increase their sales, all while raising money for nonprofits so that they can continue their mission in servicing our community. And what I'm really excited about is that we now have over 300 registered businesses that are eager to come together to help promote their businesses on Shop Bob, increase sales and services. And we have the ability to now highlight them, feature them, and expand their territory through our audience.
Okay. Hello.
Hello. Welcome to Shop Bob Live. I'm so excited to have you here, because one thing about me is that I like to deal with excellence. So I am really excited to have a paralegal in the building to come and get us right and get us together, because we out here doing the most that we shouldn't be doing. So let's start it off. If you can, introduce yourself and your business to our guests and our audience.
Okay, I hope you guys can hear me and see me okay. I'm on like 3 different screens trying to figure this out, but okay. My name is Pam. I'm the owner and founder of Brooks Notary and Litigation Support.
Yes.
I'm a paralegal. I've been in the legal game for 14 years, going on 15 now. Mm-hmm. And been a notary for about 8 years now. Wow. And so I offer freelance services, document services, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. So from your end, yes, I love the hearts that are coming in. Please throw some hearts right here. We got a paralegal in the building for business owners. If you have any questions as well, you could throw that in the chat and I'll get that in. I wanted to really ask you, because it takes a very special spirit to be a paralegal, because I don't think people give your job enough credit. The amount of research that you have to do, understanding text, understanding clauses, and helping the little guys when it comes to understanding the text that is in contractual agreements. How did you even get into that?
Well, to be honest with you, I've always been kind of a dork that way when it came to documents, just in general. In my family, I've always kind of been the go-to person when it comes to, reading their formal letters, or, like, for instance, my dad, is a World War II veteran. So he was constantly fighting with the VA. And so of course they would bombard him with paperwork and all that. And so, I was young, but I had a natural understanding for this type of stuff for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. And so I would help him out with that. And then it went from that to doing resumes and doing just anything document related. I just have an interest, in.
Now, okay, resumes is a whole nother thing that I need to get into because I love talking about business formations and really going into legitimizing businesses because a lot of times we just go to GoDaddy, get a domain site, and then just start doing all kinds of craziness online. But neither here or there. But even for in getting hired for a job within resumes, what is something that you may have noticed that is a mistakes that a lot of people do with resumes that you're able to help them in your services?
Well, one of the main things is everyone kind of wants to tell their entire life story or their entire work history in their resume. And, I know nowadays, they have, these this program that will kind of sift through the resume and pick out keywords and pick out, those type of things. But you kind of want to minimize it. Less is more. You want to give them a reason to call you. You know what I mean? Because they can look at if you type everything out that you've ever done throughout your entire career. Mm-hmm. It can be, a bit overwhelming type of thing. And it's like, okay, well, no, it's not even worth it, So that increases your chances of scoring low on this system where they're picking out these specific information, these specific keywords. Mm-hmm. So, you kind of want to focus your resume on the job that you're applying for. And I usually recommend having multiple resumes. So you want to have something for if you're trying for different types of jobs.
Okay.
You want to kind of focus on that area. So if you're going for customer service, then you want to have some stuff in there about customer service. That's a customer service resume. If you're trying to do management, then you want to have some stuff about your leadership experience and, things like that. You got to have something different or specific
right.
For those particular type of jobs. So the main thing is my recommendation, less is more. You want to highlight, of course, the important things that you've done or what you've contributed to the company, mm-hmm. That you work for. And how you can be an asset. So if they're listing specific things that they're looking for, try to incorporate that into your current resume that you're, using to apply.
Okay, so I see MBZ91 is saying that you helped create a resume for her. And as well, I saw Cold Piece as well, who was talking about landlord-tenant contracts. But resume, so you just pointed out something that I didn't even know was keyword, I guess like an AI where because I know there's a lot of online platforms where like job recruiters and where you filter your resume in, and then how does the employer really sift through all of the resumes and they do keyword searches?
Yeah, it'll go based on what's in their job description. And so if, they'll give you, I'll say like desired skills or qualifications, yada, yada, yada. That's kind of the basis for the system. And so when you're sending your resume, a lot of times people just kind of read the job and like, okay, yeah, I think I can do that, but their resume may not specifically reflect those specific keywords, that they're looking for. So it doesn't mean you're not qualified or, mm-hmm. but the system is looking for something specific, and not all employers do that. Sometimes people still do it the old fashioned way and they'll read over the resume.
Right.
But a lot of the larger companies, when they are likely to have, an influx of applications, they try to minimize that time and we'll sift through the resume, send the resume through the machine, the AI, as you say.
See, now that's why it's important for someone to have your services, to have access to you. So that way, especially for highly competitive jobs, because they are out there, especially in the tech field, you kind of know that they are probably going to use this AI format in order to isolate the best candidates for the job. So it's important to really go and have your resume researched or actually formed and formatted with someone like you who understands the game. I see Ralphie Vasquez. Hello. Ralphie is also talking about a current job search and being approached by so many different industries because of the keywords on his resume. Wow, I didn't even think about that from an employee standpoint on how they can use your services in really formatting and highlighting their skill set. So something like that, do they have a one-on-one with you, a consult, or do they submit a resume to you and you just clean it up and look for our bad grammar that, because I'm a over punctuator. I punctuate every I'm an ellipses. I'm terrible.
No, I totally understand. Well, it's a little bit of both. I mean, because whenever someone hires me for the resume service, they'll send it to me. I'll take a look at it and I'll talk to them about, okay, hey, let's tweak it this way. Let's add this. Let's take that away. Let's do that. You know what I mean? I usually give pointers and tips, for the next time. And, so we talk about it, and I'll fix it. And then there's times where, say, if someone isn't specifically looking to hire me to create or repair their resume or revamp, I don't want to sound repair, but revamp their resume, I'll give pointers. So like, hey, can you review this for me? And I'll take a look at it and I'll be like, okay, well, and I'll get my little red pen and just go through, and give my little tips there.
So for everyone who is watching this, especially those who are watching the replay, and now that the world is opening up, the mandates are being lifted, we're ready to go outside and go back into the office. There are a lot of openings and a lot of jobs, but now you have to stay competitive. And Ralphie, once again, is talking about cover letters with using keywords as well. And I would see where that would make a lot of sense. That is a great point. But for you guys, you definitely need to follow Brooks Notary because they have the services to really make you stand out and be a part of the competitive game that's out here. So for you, I implore you to definitely go and take advantage of Brooks Notary. So Cold Piece also was in the chat room and was talking about tenant contracts. So I'm going to be real because this is what I'm guilty of. And I'm very transparent in all of my transgressions. So I have a problem where I skim through the fine print. I am the best at not reading, and I say, yep, that looks good, and I sign away. And then when it's time to complain, when it is time to get out of a contract, or now I'm spending more money trying to fix what I should have fixed it in the beginning. And so for your services, do you offer that? Well, actually, Cold Piece said that she went to you in regards to tenant contracts, I guess, for renting. And so how does one really stand, it's 2 steps ahead? Because landlords, boy, they'll try to get you if they can, and they do.
Yes, landlords definitely try to cram everything into every piece of legislation under the sun into these rental agreements sometimes. And especially, like now, things have changed so much due to the impact of the pandemic. Unfortunately, it's been really tough for a lot of people, and the whole renters market, it's been kind of tough. But with Cold Piece, it was dealing with some contracts for some tenants, and we had to, of course, put in some very specific wording because of the type of rental that it was. So, of course, I did my paralegal thing. That's where the legal training stuff comes in handy, because I'm able to learn what the laws were to make sure that the contract was, had all the proper terminology. You know what I mean, and protected everyone's rights. So I mean, of course, I can't advise because I'm not an attorney, but just based on the information that was provided, I gathered what was needed and I included it into the document. And everything went okay.
But you don't understand how important it is, because a lot of times us as individuals, us as business owners, we overlook the technical construction of how agreements are made. We are old school handshakers, and we just assume that the other party's intentions are fair in the
Yeah.
agreement. And that's why it is very important to think about having someone who is an expert in that field, who knows how to read the fine print, because let's be real, we lazy. We just want to move forward. So I see Octavia, how are you? And thank you so much for your comment as well about you doing the legal research to make sure that Octavia was legit. And that is very important. I recently got myself into trouble because, like I said, I skimmed through and I signed an NDA and for a project. And so a lot of times we just assume that certain contracts are standard and it just goes across the board. And so, like I said, I'm gonna tell the truth and shame the devil. I just went, yeah, sounds good, do. And then when it was time for me to share information, I realized they was like, you can't say anything in perpetuity of the agreement. I said, wait a minute, wait, what? That's the rest of my life. I can never have, and that one word just.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. This is just one thing that I recommend whenever you're dealing with signing a contract, especially if it's a lengthy one. Make sure that you have enough time to review it. You don't, because a lot of times when we enter into these contracts, it's like high pressure, It's like, okay, yeah, go ahead, sign here, and we'll go ahead and get the deal done, and we'll just, and it's like, no. Wait a minute. I think I might need a couple of days, like just to allow yourself to be in the proper mental space and to be able to understand. Because what if you've had like a busy week and you have this meeting and you have to go and review this contract before you're about to take on this next deal. And you're tired, you may be jet lagged, you may be hungry, probably haven't had lunch, and so your brain is not firing on all cylinders. You're not processing everything like you normally would if you had the time to rest and really take it, and review it. So I recommend, if it's not, for one, you shouldn't be entering anything that's high pressure. You know what I'm saying? You should always take your time to read it, even if it's, thick is all outdoors. Tell them, okay, I'll take the contract, I'll review it, I'll come back to you in a couple of days. Or let's reschedule this meeting for such and such date and time. That way, you will be able to take it, and you don't have to sit and do it all at one time. Take it in chunks, because sometimes, depending on the type of agreement you're entering into, it can be pretty lengthy.
Yes.
Very technical. You know what I mean? So, and that's on purpose. So just take it in chunks. Take a paragraph here, a paragraph there. Okay, go get you some coffee or go get you a bagel, whatever, and then come back like, okay, and then and take notes. Take notes. This is what I do when I have to review some of these hefty contracts. I will literally get a pen and a pad and take some notes and be like, okay, you know what? I think, okay, I don't like that. So I'm going to cross that out and I'm going to resubmit it and say, okay, hey, you know what? Everything sounds good except this, and then they'll just have to retype it, or, you may have to walk away from the deal, because you don't want to enter into something that's not going to be good for you. Like again, they give you all the bells and whistles, but when you actually get down into it, like you said, the fine print, it was a meme that said, the large print giveth and the fine print taketh away.
What? Okay, Octavia, I'm with you. I'm hiring Pam. That's it. So because you just said something that was so serious here. So I'm going to speak about me, because I my experience is crazy. So I have been in a situation where I was given a contract and they gave me less than 24 hours to sign. And so, it was a old management contract, but I got out of it, thank the Lord. So but that pressure to, I got to hurry up and sign, it immediately put me out of, yeah, it's good because the deal was so great once I signed. And then after I signed, I was like, oh, Lord, how do I get out of this contract? Is there a sunset clause? Is there something? And I actually spent more money finding legal ways to get out of the contract if I was to just do it right the first time and come to Brooks Notary, y'all. Make sure y'all go ahead and follow and subscribe to really get my business legit in the forefront, so I was taken care of. That way I didn't have to spend more money trying to fix which I broke myself by signing without it.
Yeah.
Wow. This is incredible. Okay, so from resumes to get jobs, you're helping people optimize their presence online. From tenant agreements on the landlord side to the rentals agreement for our side, making sure we're good, from contracts. So a question that I have for you is, because you made mention that we have the authority to say, I need some time with this before we move forward. What is like an appropriate amount of time to tell that other party, so that way we can call you, you could go through our stuff, and then we could get back to them and say, all right, yay or nay?
Well, it really depends on you. Like, when you see the contract, if they give you a thick stack, you're like, okay, now I think I'm gonna need at least a week, or 2 weeks or whatever. It could be a couple of days. It could be just as long as it's not right now. Like, I have to sign it right now, and I haven't even went through the thing to see if I dislike anything. So it depends on you and what your schedule is like, and and your willingness to go through it, because it's like, okay, I don't feel like reading this. Okay, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. You know what I mean? So just make sure it's enough time for yourself.
And so even for you, okay, so because I'm gonna get an agreement, right? And I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna need some days to go ahead and go through this. Then I'm gonna call Pam. Somebody, we gonna make a jingle. We gonna call Pam. Okay. I'm gonna say, okay, so how does that work when we come to you? Are we telling you what we want out of this, or do we just hand it to you for the service, and you just look and then you tell us what the contract really says?
Yeah, you'll send it to me. Of course, we'll call or email. Honestly, it's call, email, text, however you feel like it's comfortable for you. And you say, hey, I got this agreement in. I kind of read through a little bit. I don't really understand it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll be happy to take a look for you. And, just email it to me, whatever, and I'll take a look. I'll take my little notes. I'm okay, well, based on this is what I gathered from it. And then, and then I'll send those notes to you. And then you let me know if you would like me to write something else, like say a counter, or just, or you can just submit my notes if you like, okay, well, this is, what I gathered from it. And based on that, I don't agree with this, or, what, I think this is cool, but can we kind of strengthen this a little bit, or can we limit this time frame for that, or, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, how it would work.
No, that's great, because I look at contracts, and when they say for hence, whence to, and therefore that, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're speaking in layman's terms. I want to know A, B, and C. So it's really important that to have someone like you where you can understand the language. So, okay, so we've talked about resumes. We talked about tenant agreements. Are you specialized in a specific category that you handle, or are you open to, let's say, entertainment agreements, sports or music, acting? Please say.
Well, in terms of contracts, I'm pretty open. I've received different types of all across the board. I mean, I always do my research. So if it's an industry, say, that I haven't particularly participated in, I always do my research so that I'm aware of what is expected, for this type of thing. What is the industry standard? And I also have attorney friends, so I'll pick their brain too sometimes, But so that's generally it. But in terms of a specialty, I mean, I would have to say just legal document preparation in general would be a specialty for me. Contracts are kind of a bonus. Resumes, I've been doing that for so long, but it's legal document prep. That's pretty much what I love. That's where my heart beats.
Okay. So now, okay, I got another one for you. Okay. So, because I'm going to ask the questions for y'all. Don't worry. I got y'all. Okay. So, business owners. Now we're talking about contractors where they're event planners. They are industry and entertainment where they're providing a service. And a lot of times, photographers, videographers, and they have to now put together an agreement that covers them, but is also fair to, I guess that wouldn't be the vendor, that'd be the patron, that the client, or the client, yes, the contract to the client. Do you offer those services to put one together, or to look through one to make sure that the contract is covered by the vendor?
Yeah. Well, I will look through it if that's what you guys needed me to do. I'll sit through it again, take my notes. If it was something that, say, so if it's from the location to the vendor, that would be one thing. And say if the vendor subcontracts to someone else, then it'll be like a separate thing for the vendor to the subcontractor. But there's likely going to be language in the main contract saying something about, if you hire your own or if you subcontract X, Y, and Z, you're responsible for X, Y, and Z. That's generally what we see in those types of scenarios. It's kind of like saying, like, okay, we're not responsible for whoever you bring in. You are taking care of X, Y, and Z. But if they mess up our stuff, yeah, you're still responsible for it. You know what I mean? So
interesting.
That's kind of the extent there. But
Octavia saying she does that too. Yes, Pam do it all. I get it. Because it's really important. Like I said, when it comes to Shop Bob and why I created Shop Bob, it was the whole idea of making or helping businesses in our community be better. And like I started with our interview tonight, I said a lot of times businesses, they don't really do the research on how to legitimize or format or to form their businesses as a LLC, a C Corp, S Corp, the right way to form their business, and also about how to present themselves legitimately online. So I know that there are also some services that you provide that helps that. One of the other things that I want to speak to you about or ask a question is notary services, because what should we really be paying attention to that should be notarized that we're really letting slide with just a good hard handshake?
Oh, that's interesting. Well, a lot of times there are contracts, for instance, will be notarized. There are some documents that are required to be notarized, usually like, say, property exchanges, purchases, sales, like home, for instance, like that's required. You got to have notarization for those. And then, car sales sometimes. But generally, if you see it between private sellers, or private buyer and seller. For business stuff, like I said, you can include a clause in there where it's notarized, where they witness both of you guys sign rental agreements. You can include it in there, because the notarization is really they're just witnessing the signature. It's not like it's saying, okay, yeah, I reviewed the document and everything looks perfect and it's a legit agreement. That's not really what the notary's there for. It's just to certify that, okay, I've witnessed party A and party B sign this document. So they have both agreed to this document. That's pretty much all it is. But it is official. It helps with, if they try to disagree and say, well, I don't remember signing that, or I didn't agree to that, or you know what I mean? It's like, well, we have a notarized statement saying that you did. The notary is your witness. So That's generally, when it would come to play. I hope I answered the question.
No, absolutely, because I've always wondered, like, at what point should we say that something needs to be notified or notarized, sorry, or is, the good handshake, okay, we both gonna say yes to this was good. But yes, Octavia, thank you. So many things is showing up because you pretty much do it all between notary, legal documents, resume revamps, really helping to empower the party, that they're getting a fair deal within any agreement that is put in writing. I think that is super important because a lot of times we get so excited about just getting the opportunity. Like, yeah, because I'm guilty of it. Getting so excited that we move forward. And then we're like, oh man, I should have got that in writing, like payments and productions and stuff.
Oh,
Man, they didn't put that in writing. Or they did a general payout and I'm not getting paid residuals off of this. I'm getting a one-time payment. Why wasn't that added into the agreement? When I tell you, Pam, you about to be my new best friend. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be me and Octavia. We both gonna be fighting for your because it's so important, especially with legitimizing businesses when it comes to owning our property, owning our names, owning our designs, owning our trademarks. Ooh, that's a whole nother segment.
oh yeah.
Do is trademarks and owning your own stuff. So
I actually know a trademark paralegal. So I know one of those two.
are you serious? Oh,
Yeah.
we about to do a whole thing. And you just started a TikTok. We about to, okay, all right. So I'm gonna say right now, you about to be my official expert. we gonna talk about tips and stuff and get the people to come to Brooks Notary. Make sure you go ahead and follow and like and subscribe across the board, Brooks Notary. And for those who love to shop, guess what? Pam does more. Because you decided after being the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker, you went ahead and opened up an online store. What you just like work. You like work. How did the store come about?
Well, it's funny. It actually just came to me one night. I mean, literally the idea came to me one night, but I would say really thinking about the whole scope of it is really looking for things that that I like or that represent me, or because I mean I'm kind of quirky, so I'm particular about certain things, you know what I mean? And it's not really much out there that relates to me. And so my profession in particular, being a paralegal, the legal industry in general, notary, like there wasn't really anything out there at the time when I started. And, it's like, I wouldn't mind, having a shirt with, something legal related or some kind of legal jargon or some kind of something, So I was like, let's give it a whirl. And then I decided to focus a bit more on, with African American women, because that's me, And so the line that I have now, it's focusing on the professional women of color. And so, so we'll see imagery of, the notary, the esquire, the paralegal, and entrepreneur. And these are just, beautiful women. So that's kind of my focus right now. And I hope I answered your question.
No, definitely. Because what I do appreciate is that you saw that there wasn't a brand that focused on you as a paralegal in law, and you decided to create that because there are millions of people that are in this field, and we love a coffee mug and a t-shirt now. We do. We love to wear our profession with pride. We love the hearts are flowing in, and to have that ability because the designs are really beautiful. I love them, and they do resonate. Even for Black Girl, Hey Girl, Hey, it does. The quirkiness. I love the clock. Really thinking about how to adorn your office space for those who are nose in the book, reading all the fine print. So for the store is BNLS, correct?
Yes, ma'am. It's just being a store, you know, basic.
Mm-hmm. But they're able to get products, they're able to check out your designs, they're able to get wares. And then of course Brooks Notary, where I believe everyone should be more mindful of using legal services when it comes to their contracts, when it comes to their agreements. Because yes, let's be real, y'all. Yes, it costs money to hire an expert. You are not paying for their time, you are paying for their expertise. So if it takes Pam 30 seconds to look over a contract, but her price is one thing, you are paying for her expertise, her ability to read fast
That's
and
right.
exegete the text. Okay. So for y'all, that's what we're doing. But paying money up front saves you money in the end. I'm gonna tell myself one more time, Pam. I am. So I was one of those smart, intellectual people who was in a Facebook group and saw so many people say, you want to trademark your name? You could just do it yourself. You don't have to pay a lawyer to do it. Just go online, direct to the federal website, and just enter the name and pick out the category. And you don't have to pay all those fees. You just pay a couple of $100s. And my silly self said, I could do this. And I did. And I got the trademark. And then I realized that the category that I chose wasn't the category for my business. So now I had to find a trademark lawyer to fix the trademark. But of course, I still had to reapply for a new one because that one already went through. And then when I tell you, that's why I could say this. And I say this with such love and passion, how important it is to budget, to pay the legal fees up front. So that way you're not paying all of your money later, because it's paying me so much more to fix the problem that I could have did from the top. So finding you was the best thing that ever happened to me. I am really, really excited. And I'm hoping everybody who is watching those, as well as the replay, taking notes from all of the tidbits that have been dropped. Brooks Notary, follow. You've got your TikTok, and I'm following that. You're doing videos now. I'm so excited for you putting that out there. I think that this is a service that a lot of us, we overlook, that we don't think that we need. But we need it, because those who are making millions of dollars, they have a whole legal team that that look through the fine print. What was that slogan again? That slogan was great. The large print.
It was the large print giveth and the small print taketh away.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay. When I tell you, you are just like feeding my soul there, because that's what I want to do. And I think that I would love to do that with you, is really helping to educate businesses so that way they are educated and ready to go to their next level. Educate consumers and renters so that way they are educated when walking into agreements. Educate the entertainers so that way they are educated before signing the agreement to the shiny object. And then now we just signed all of our rights and our ownerships and our song and our music and our acting and our talents away because we didn't read the fine print. I love how we have this ability to really put a light on your services, a light on legal services that are needed, because we can do better once we know how to do better. And it's okay to hire help. I'm sorry, I just went on a rant, but that's how much I'm excited about you. And yes, Octavia, saying that you drop nuggets on your TikTok. Make sure you follow Brooks Notary, or is it at BLNS on TikTok?
Well, it's both. I'm kind of just getting both of them started. So I'm trying to come up with, content because I have a YouTube page as well. So I kind of do step by steps on YouTube.
Perfect.
So yeah, so I'm everywhere. You just go to brooksnotary.com and you look at the bottom of the screen. There's like a little, a little social media bar. Just click on it and it'll take you wherever I am.
I love it. And I'm going to make sure that I repost your stuff within Shop Bob because, like I said, it's really important to do better business and then have the resources where we can connect to you. I see other notary servicers in the chat room. Thank you so much because we want to do better. We want to do better. I know we do. And with Brooks Notary, we could do it. Man, where have you been all my life, Pam? Oh, you don't even know. You just created something. So
Thank you so much.
No, definitely. And for those who want to check out the wares at BNLS for more products for all of the quippy stuff. I love it. Like I said, I love the clock, the coffee mugs, the t-shirt line. Is really important because it's really time to get serious about our business. And that's what I'm so glad to have experts like you on the show to help whip us into shape and get us ready to go. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, it's Janelle Simone, and I am looking for Bobs. That's right. So if you are a Bob, I want to know more about you. I want to know the why behind your business. Yes, I want to interview you on our next Shop Bob Live. So if you are a Bob and you want to join us as a guest, go to shopbob.com. Or if you just want to know what else that we're building, because we're definitely growing, then check us out at shopbob.com.